Pittsburgh Steelers fans, it is Matty P with Marky D on the latest episode of our Mad Monday show. We're recording this on our Monday night as we go to air, and it has been a crazy Monday, Mark. This will go out for the US on their Monday. How was your Monday? How are you doing?
It's been pretty good. Pretty cold though, so I'm wearing my tracky decks. You know what? It's weird because the last 2 days was warm, right? It was like warm 2 days ago. Now it's freezing. It's like, I don't know. In Australian terms, freezing. It's like 15 degrees, but still pretty cold.
Yeah, it was colder than that though this morning. It was under 10 in my place.
Was it really under 10? Yeah, and we're talking Celsius. I don't know what that is in terms of Fahrenheit.
10's what, like 40?
I have no
idea. 1040? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold enough to be wearing tracky decks or tracksuit pants.
Put it this way: when I went to Pittsburgh in December for that game against the Bills, I think it was 6 degrees. So there you go. That gives,
Celsius.
That gives the ins. Yeah, it was 6 Celsius. Yeah, but I had wind chill of I had a wind chill of up down to -2 C. So
and there was a duck sighting too, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was a duck sighting as well. Yeah. All right, so we're getting into today's show. It is looking at draft picks. Now, Mark and I did our show last week about grading the Steelers draft picks from this year's draft. That made sense. It was just following the draft. But we thought we'd go back and give like a bit of a status upgrade grading for a few drafts over the last 4 years. So 2022, 2021, and 2020. We put it out to Twitter, not a Twitter poll. We put it out to a YouTube poll on the channel. We had 50% of people say 2022 is what they wanted to hear next. 8% said 2021. Kind of surprised I got a vote. I could understand why though. And then 42% voted for 2020. So I kind of was hoping we go for 2020, but we're actually going to go back in time 2022 consecutively. So next week you'll hear 2021 and the following week you'll hear 2020, unless something else big that comes up that Mark and I need to discuss, but you'll hear about it either on Mad Monday or the TDU boys. We're going to make sure we finish off this little series. And then, yeah, there's not many guys left from 2019, so it probably makes more sense to do 2020 and beyond. It's also post-pandemic, and Mike Tomlin talked a lot about the pandemic and how that affected how the Steelers have picked players the last couple of years, particularly post-draft. So I think we want to look at it in that context as well. Now, in grading the players, last time we did it, Mark and I didn't do A, B, C, D, E, or F like everyone else does. We did a number grade because it's kind of cool to be able to compare how we felt an overall draft class has gone. And I think in context with 2022, they've had 1 year in the league. We're going to be able to also contextualize that and how it felt. Now, the other thing we've got to specify up front, the Steelers have obviously picked Chris Oladokun in the 7th round. He left that because they put him on the practice squad. He left and went to the Chiefs. Mark always likes to say he partied like he won the Super Bowl.
He did. He won the Super Bowl, mate. He's Super Bowl MVP in his heart. You check his Instagram. I had him on Instagram. He was like cheering like he played in the game, like he was throwing TDs. He was on the practice squad.
And then also the other factor is Jalen Warren, who the Steelers got undrafted. So we might cover him off at the end, but he's not technically a draft pick. So he doesn't really fully fit into the criteria. We're going to look at Pro Football Reference as well, Marky D. I think that's a cool place to start. If we want to look at any of the particular players' stats, I won't open them all because it auto-plays ads, all the different players. But which player from we don't have to go linear, but more chronologically, which player from the 2022 draft class do you want to do first?
Oh, I was thinking about doing Kenny Pickett, but I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, let's start with Kenny Pickett. We'll do it order then. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go in order.
I just going to say one thing though. I think I might grade them a bit differently to the 23 draft class because I've seen them play.
You know what I mean? That's fine. I think maybe it's like how you felt about it coming out, plus what the projection was, and then we'll give them the number.
Okay, so you want a bit of both from the draft, bit of both from the actual play.
Yeah, up to you. It's you've got to feel good about the number you're giving them.
I'm going to go off what I saw last year as well. Put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do you want to start with? Or do you want to leave Kenny to last?
Yeah, we'll go Kenny Pickett.
All right, Kenny Pickett. Okay. Well, you know what? Because my numbers will probably be lower than 23. I'm going to give him like an 8. Actually, You know what? No. 8. I'll give him 8. 8.
8.
8
out of 10.
Because I like the way that he played the back-to-back games, won it for versus the Ravens and for Franco, for the Raiders. Of course, he's got a huge upside too. Most upside this year in 2023. But he kind of was really thrown into a bad situation, wasn't he, with the Jets game before the bye.
He should have started that game. I feel like he should have started that game.
We had Mitch. That was the only game I missed. I've missed in like 15 years because I knew Mitch was starting, so I just slept in. I gave up. I've not missed one in 15 years, I swear. And I knew he was starting, so I said, "No, I'm sleeping in." Then I missed Kenny. I remember
starting. You saying that. I
was pissed because I wasn't like excited to know that Mitch was playing after those 3 games. I was like, "What's the point?"
Yeah,
100%. So I'm going to give him 8 because I think he played well after the bye, and the upside now is Kenny effing Pickett.
That's it, man. So you give him an 8.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm actually giving him a 9.
So we got 6 players, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, but we're not Oladoku, and we can talk about Warren if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Give him a 9. Why give him a 9?
I am a 9, and I said this when we were one of our shows recently. People forget. Oh, no, I said it on the Peyton Manning one that I did, talking about Matt Canada. And people forget the fact that he had 3 rushing touchdowns near the line.
True.
They could have been passes, right? So I always hear this 7 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He could have had 10 TDs to 9 interceptions, right? Like, and so I think people forget about that. I think he wasn't set up to succeed. I don't think they let him do. I get why they were conservative with him, but I still feel like they could have let him do more in his rookie year. He also didn't really have a full stable, I felt, of like top wide receivers. Freiermuth missed a bit of time with the concussions as well. Najee wasn't fighting fit the first 7 weeks of the season. He had that metal plate in his foot. And that's, we might talk about Jalen Warren and the emergence there. People might seem really odd and then like about that, but you know some of the comments we've had recently on the channel around Kenny misses guys, all the rest of it. How much better do you expect him to play? And I say this as well, again, going back to the interesting comments made by Peyton Manning. He had 28 interceptions in his rookie year. Terry Bradshaw had 24 interceptions. Kenny had 9, man. Now, I know he didn't play every game, but he played in 13 games. I think the other thing when I looked back on the season that I hated was that unfortunate concussion that he got at the start of the Ravens game. I would have loved to have seen him play the Ravens at home. I felt like that could have been a coming out party.
Oh, the Mitch game, mate.
The Mitch game where he threw the game away at the end, right? With all those interceptions. So I'm actually going to give him a 9. I think he handled it well. I think he's handled it with aplomb.
I want to ask you this question. Why do you think there's some fan base out there already hating on Kenny as if they know that his ceiling's finished? Do you know what I mean? He's a rookie going to his second year. They're already saying, he can't do anything. We'll move on to the next guy. It's a small fan base saying that Kenny won't be able to do it.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. I was quite surprised. Even on our channel as well. I agree. I think people are enamored by some of the quarterbacks in college football right now and assume they can just play the game. I don't think people understand the value of having Kenny Pickett, who was able to develop in college. Like, it's one of the really odd things about the NFL, right? About the fact people are like, you're washed up when you're 26. You saw this like with Hendon Hooker, right? Now, apart from running backs, it's just not the case. Like, there are other sports. Take rugby, for example. The biggest guys on the field, they're not considered good until they're 30 because they've got to be experienced, right? Guys aren't considered pretty good until they're 24, 25. I don't understand this narrative with Kenny Pickett. Like, he is going to do more on the field this year than Bryce Young did, than CJ Stroud's going to do. He's going to do more than Anthony Richardson. He's just going to plug away and do his thing, right? Like, I'm more willing to bet he's going to turn out to be the Steelers quarterback over the next 5 years to a decade than bet against him.
Realistically, what did people really want? Like, did they want him going out there and throwing 40 touchdowns in his rookie year and going to win the Super Bowl? No rookie's ever won a Super Bowl, ever.
Yeah, it's not Madden.
Right? So I feel like there was too much expectation for him to do that, but I'm talking only a small percentage of the fan base is like, he won't be any good. But I would rather judge him after like 4 or 5 years or maybe 4 years after the contract and say, okay, it's not going to work out. See what we do. Like, I was giving flack to Trubisky because we'd seen what he'd done. We've seen how he plays. We know any fan knows the way how he plays. Terrible, right? He's probably a good backup. But for Kenny, he got better every week. He learned from the Jets interception. He learned from the Dolphin one. He then learned how to win in Baltimore and then win on a big game against the Raiders.
And the other thing too that people forget, he won those games down the stretch. He didn't get to play with the ones in the preseason and in training camp. He didn't even really get to do anything with the twos. Like, he was kind of thrown to the wolves. And the Steelers, this is something the Steelers have actually got to improve on with the next guy after Kenny, because like they did a little bit to Mason Rudolph as well. Like, and I know that Big Ben was there, but the Steelers haven't actually done that well by sticking by Kenny Pickett. So, not by Kenny Pickett. Sorry, they haven't always put their rookie quarterbacks in the best positions to succeed. Let's just say that. That I'm not criticizing what they've done with Kenny Pickett. Thought they brought him on. Mike Tomlin was careful that he didn't have to start week 1 away against the Bengals, who would come off being in the Super Bowl. Like, that would have been ludicrous. But it made sense to start him at home. But yeah, I know. I'm going to give him a 9. You give him an 8. All right, let's move to George Pickens, who had 4 TDs on the year receiving, 801 yards, 52 receptions, 3 rushes for 24 yards, 1 TD. Got ejected at the end of that game off the onside kick. I didn't think much of that. Yeah. Some people read into his character.
What did he do again? I forget what he did. Did he fall on someone or something? I forget. Did he give someone the people's elbow?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I didn't like that everyone started going into that he's got attitude problems. I don't think so. So,
no, I think he can play aggressive and like kind of handle it, control that, and you've seen it on the field too.
I mean, he had something where like the contested catches, he had like a 70% catch rate on those, right? And he's a rookie wide receiver, right? The guy's taken the second round, 52nd overall. So I give Pickens a 9 as well. I don't know what more. The only thing he could have done more was get 1,000 yards or break 6 or 7 TDs, but that wasn't this offense. Like, this offense had 12 passing TDs last year, and he had 4 of them. So
yeah, right.
I don't know how you can ask much more than that, right?
I got to bring this up. Did you see the fake Peyton Manning quote going around the internet?
Have you seen that? Pickens, doing
about George Pickens.
Yeah, wasn't it from Pickens Season on Twitter?
Yeah, it's from Pickett to Pickens Season has written this. He said that he was talking about Peyton Manning has given high praise for George Pickens, and he says here he's a perfect receiver. He has speed, hands, incredible route running, can find the soft spot in zone. He's a type of player that has that's a quarterback's best friend. Now, I don't know if that's any link to your video from Peyton Manning and talking about Canada. At the same time, though, Pickett to Pickens wrote that, and it's going like viral around the internet. But it's kind of true though. Like, I think he's got sure hands. Like he said, 70% catch radius. For me, if I'm going to give him a ranking out of 10, I'm going to give an 8. I'm going to stick around these numbers for a little bit, probably around an 8. I still want to see them get better. But for a rookie year, getting 800 yards is not too bad at all. The only thing he didn't get was TD.
They can go down in the future. When we do this next year, you can put them down.
I'll stick with 8 for the moment.
All right. It's interesting. You're usually on the tire on this stuff than me.
Oh, no. I know. But I still, I don't know, because I've seen them play. I want to see what they do next kind of thing. Yeah. Maybe there's more speculation with 23.
Each their own. Don't have to justify it. I trust you.
All right.
DeMarvin Leal, what do you give him?
Ooh. How many games did he play?
He played in 11.
I liked him at the start, and then he got injured, right? Didn't he?
Yeah. He didn't have many tackles. He had like 12 tackles or something.
I don't want to do it. 6? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating 6 and 7 as well, but we don't do halves, so yeah, I think it's a 6.
I like
these
when
auto ads. I hate pro football references auto ads. It annoys me.
When he came in, I remember he was putting his hands up. He was getting things done. Like, yeah,
he had 3 pass defenses,
right?
To be fair.
I remember those. Yeah, in the early season, then he got injured and then didn't play as much. I would say, like, if he has a big year, this 6 will go into a 10 at the end of it. But I'm going to keep him at a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to go with you. I was debating that. I'm going to go with 6 as well.
Like, is he going to start? Like, who's going to start there at?
No. He's the first backup defensive end. You might see him in other sort of packages. All right, what about Calvin Austin, who didn't play?
This one's very interesting because it's still exciting, even though he had a year off. But like when he first came out or when he was drafted, you're like speedster.
Sauce Gardner's comments that he was the hardest wide receiver to defend.
Matt Canada's going to give this fella the ball 10 times in a row, for jet sweeps.
Matt Canada said he didn't know how to use him.
Yeah, that's true.
Bit of a concern to me. I don't care what Peyton Manning says.
I forgot about that. It's another funny one, though, isn't it? Heading into 2023, I think people are still excited about Calvin Austin, but getting out of the draft, I kind of want to give him a 5, but I don't know if I should or not. Because
that's what I was going to do. I was going to say, do we give him a 5 as a push because he didn't play? So you can't mark him down, but you can't mark him up.
Yeah, you can't give him a 6, can you? Because he hasn't done anything yet.
No.
But this was last year, I would have given him like an 8 or a 9 because I would have been so excited to see him play. But now I'm like, well, you had the first year.
Play, so you got him a 5.
Well, we saw him play. Did he play preseason or something like that?
No.
I can't remember.
No. I don't think so.
No. Okay. Well, I'm going to give.
No, I don't think so because he got injured. He got injured like the 2 weeks before. And they were hoping he'd be right. And then they basically, the ankle, they were like, nah, we're just going to redshirt him.
Well, I'm going to give
him. Which could be
5.
good. It could turn out to be really good for him because he got to learn things from the sideline. And he'll be hungry. Yeah, I'm giving him a 5. I think 5's a fair push.
Here's one, though, that I'm going to rate highly. High as hell. Connor, I'm going.
No. What did you give for him? Did you give him a 5 or a 6?
Who? Calvin Austin?
Yeah.
5.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm going to rate this one highly too. I'm going to be interested to see what you think.
I kind of want to give Hayward a 10, but I think 10's too high, so I'm going to give him a 9.
10's a bit of a.
I just think he's a good football player. I just think the way they use him and the way if Matt Canada does use Connor Hayward, it would be really fun to see him in third down sets.
I don't think he's got the stats to back a 10.
Maybe not the stats, but I just think like there are so many times you see him play like when he's playing fullback and he's just wants to smash someone. He's a bit like Warren in some aspects. So okay, maybe I'll give him a 9.
I want to give him a 9, but I needed a little bit more from the production. I can't give Pickens a 9 and have that production. I know Pickens is a second rounder, but like I'll give him an 8. But I do this reluctantly. Like in my heart, I want to give him a 10 as well. I just production.
I'm also going off where they got him too, by the way. Where they got.
No,
him
I know. I just think
round 6. Round 6.
That played in 17 games.
Yep.
If he'd had maybe 10 rushes and you'd had 20 receptions, I could justify the 9. I
think he had some tackles too somewhere. Probably had some tackles.
Yeah, he did on special teams. He had about 5 or 6, I think. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go with a high 9, even though I probably should have given Kenny a 9. That's all right.
Well, you didn't now. Locked in. Price is right. Classic.
High, low.
What about Mark Robinson, 7th round draft?
I'm actually really high on this dude too because I like the way he played right near the end of the season. What's he got? 9 tackles? Yeah, that probably came in the last 2 games, I'd say. I think it was like versus the Ravens. Yeah. Was it Ravens, Browns, and Raiders he played in the last 3 games?
Average game. Was it the second last game? Was it the second last game he played poorly? One of them, he played a lot, but he missed.
I just remember there was one tackle he came in super firing, and then Devin Bush came behind. It was like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm like, now Devin Bush, you get fired up when you see that? Like it took you 15 games. You know they're rating Devin Bush highly over there in Seattle.
Oh, it's nuts. Like he'll actually fit their defense. He'll fit.
That's what I've heard actually. Yeah, I've heard he's going to fit their defense. But if we're going back to Mark Robinson, where they're at, he's still learning the position, right? Still learning inside linebacker. I'm going to give him a 7. No, 6. I gave Leal a 6.
I'm giving a 6. I have a 6. I can't give him a 5. He's a 7th round draft pick. Like, yeah, you can't knock that. You gotta. How about Chris Oladokun? No games.
Mate, 10. He's a Super Bowl winner.
Super Bowl champion.
The one that got away for us.
Do we want to, seeing as they did cut Oladokun, do we want to do Jaylen Warren or?
Yeah, I think we should rate Warren somehow, some way. Undrafted guy. Now has got pretty much in the roster. He's running back number 2. And
yeah, that's pretty
high.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty.
The fact that Benny Snell couldn't get there. Other blokes like Matt couldn't get there for number 2. He's found
people were surprised you went undrafted as well. So,
yep, and it's good to find him. It's good to find him there. You know,
hey, look, 80 yards rushing, 7 rushes for 379 yards, not too bad. 4.9 average, 1 TD. Came in when he needed to. Got a lot. I think he had a few first downs. He had Yeah, 20 first
20,
downs,
right?
which wasn't
Not
bad.
bad. He can
Yeah,
catch
and
too.
28 receptions off 33 targets.
That's not bad
Yeah,
either.
for 214 yards. So he had about 600 yards from scrimmage, average 5.6. Undrafted. I mean, you give him a 7 for me, and he only had one fumble.
I'm going
you give him
8.
a 7, but then the fact he was undrafted, you got to give him an 8, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm going 8 just because of his story. Undrafted, runs really hard, wrecking ball, Warren, bowling ball. And look at his stats, like you said, 400 yards is pretty, 380 is pretty good, 1 TD. A lot of stuff, too, is to do with the Steelers weren't scoring points. Let's be honest, right? They weren't scoring enough points. They couldn't get the ball into the red zone. They're kicking field goals, so the TDs are low. I think the Steelers had, 9 receptions or 9 or 10 receptions on TDs or something like that, right? So, yeah, the one thing about Warren is, though, when he goes out in the running back wheel route, he can catch the football.
Yeah.
He can catch the football. He's 28-33 is not bad percentage. What's that, 90%, 91%?
Yeah. Catchy was 84.4, 84.8%. Yeah.
Yeah, if you got a guy in the backfield who can get you out of a sticky situation, you don't mind that at all. So an undrafted guy, running back now, number 2 behind Najee, who's round 1. I'm going to rate him probably higher than a lot of the blokes on here. Maybe I should put Connor Hayward probably a bit lower, but it's all right now. I'm going to give him 8.
Okay. So I've got our totals while you were doing that one.
All right.
So our totals are 51 for me out of 70. Now, it was cool because the grade that we did for the 2023 draft class was out of 70, so that's cool. I had a 51 and you had a 50.
Really? It's close again.
Close again, yeah.
Unreal. It's got 51 being James Ferry and Larry Foote. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got
100. So I got 109 and you're on 108 out of 140.
So you're saying we're going Super Bowl? Is that what you're saying?
That's it, man.
Realistically, right, over the last 2 seasons, they've been pretty good drafts. And a lot of the players will, of course, Kenny will be there, George will be there, Leo will back up somewhere, Connor's going to be on the team, Austin try and make the team. A lot of these guys are going to be a focal part of both offense and defense. It's good. It's good to see.
Do we want to? I feel like we've ripped through that draft class. Do we want to
do another one?
Want to attempt the other one, or do we save it for another show?
Nah, let's do it.
Let's. Don't worry. I feel like this is the one where we could get talking, like stuck on a player for ages.
2020 is it 2021? You want to do now?
Yeah. So that's 2022. We actually ripped through that pretty quick. Oh, we got through that a lot quicker.
Let's do it. Let's aim for 40 minutes. We got 18 spare minutes.
Yeah, we got 18 minutes to get through this. All right.
Part 2.
So Delonte Scott and Cody White are undrafted, so we're not going to cover them. So we've got Trey. Oh, I can actually do team draftees, but that's a new thing for Pro Football Reference. So let's just make sure they've got that right.
Gives you the whole list, doesn't it? In the meantime, guys, make sure you hit that like and subscription during this halftime break. Go get yourself a beverage and maybe a pizza.
But hit the pause button, come back because we're going to go live with it now. All righty-o. Oh, this is cool. It actually pre-calculates the years. Okay, that's cool. All right, well, let's just go chronologically again. I think that makes sense. Najee Harris, a lot of people question taking running back in the first round.
People are so low on Najee Harris, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. He's a good bloke on the field, off the field. He doesn't like the stupid media questions. You ever seen that? So my grade's going to be, I'm going to give him a 9 because I like what he's doing on the field. And they're saying that he's, going to be a bust in 2 years or whatever.
What hurts him? What hurts him for you? 1 out of 10.
Maybe it was a small little bit of an injury, right? But they're actually, I'm going to give him a 9 for now. But I think there was a certain point in his career.
No, I back it. I'm just interested in why not a 10.
It's hard to give a 10 though, isn't it? Sometimes, but even though
I kind of feel that he didn't enough in the passing game last year. I feel like that was, everyone talks about all the things Matt Canada did wrong, and I said it to you. How many times during the season did I say it to you? Why aren't they using Najee Harris in the short passing game like he was used in his rookie year? Now I get the first 7 weeks being injured, but he should have been using that more.
There was a certain time though last year where it just kind of broke down, and he wasn't running the way that he was before, and then something clicked, and then the week after from on the bye went hammer and tongs.
Because he got that steel plate out of his foot,
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like if they'd had a better veteran running back on the roster, other than Warren and Snell, I feel like he wouldn't have played the first 4 games.
Yeah, if he goes into the season in week 1 with a good offensive line, what they have, he could easily be a top 10 or top 5 player. You know what I mean?
I'll give him a 9 as well. I think you can't look past the amount of the 380 plus touches he had in year 1. He's played in a Pro Bowl. I think that's
at least his totals here. They totals for
their total across the 2 years. Yeah. So
okay.
2,234 yards rushing. I didn't know that it did that with Pro Football Reference. It does, so that's cool. 696 receiving yards off 115 receptions. So he's averaging between about 4.5 there, 6 receiving TDs, 14 rushing TDs over the 2 years. So he's averaging 7 rushing TDs and 3 passing TDs, which might not sound like much. But remember, the Steelers in 2022 only had 12 passing TDs and I think it was 16 rushing TDs. So that's he's actually done a lot for this team.
When did he pass one? When did he pass one for 4 yards? When was that?
He had that wildcat in the game when
was that for 2 points? No,
I don't think so.
Because it's not for a TD.
No, there's no points. What do you mean?
Well, it's not for. It might have been for 2 points. I don't know if it was for 2 points or not.
I don't think it was.
No, okay. So it's a 4 yard.
I think it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's very early when we watch the games at 3 a.m. What about Paddy Freiermuth? Well, this is a controversial pick. A lot of people want to Creed Humphrey. I want to Pat Freiermuth. I bet money on Pat Freiermuth. I want to bet with Pat Freiermuth. I love it. So yeah,
I'm gonna give this. I can't give this a 10 either, right? But
why?
I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9. But I do like him. I think this year's going to go off. And I think he's had really productive seasons.
9.
Yeah. 2 productive seasons for sure. Right. Just got to make
10.
sure. Really? That's because
I give him a 10 because look at how many receptions he's got. Look at the yards in double Matt Canada offenses with a rookie QB. Now, I would have liked to see more TDs last year. Oh, you know what? I'm going to give him a 9. I really want to give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 9. But this guy's almost a top 5 tight end. His first years in the league. In any other year, apart from the one of Kyle Pitts, he would have been, and especially considering Dalton Kincaid went like 27 or 28 this year to Buffalo. I just think Pat Freiermuth would have been a first-round pick. He can do everything. Some people are down on his blocking, like Shazier was with Ben on the podcast. I disagree a little bit with that. But anyway, they played professional football, not me. But he will be, to me, if he can have another year like his rookie year this year, then it's a 10. I just need to see him be that safety blanket for Kenny Pickett and be that I want him to get back to being that red zone touchdown machine. 6 TDs, 800 yards this season, perfect for me.
A lot of these things kind of factor on if Canada's going to, open this game up, doesn't it? Basically. Because a lot of these guys. So Freiermuth got 7 TDs his rookie year, right?
I think 6.
6. Okay. So yeah. So then.
Oh no, maybe it was 7. I think it was 6.
There you go. 2 and 2.
Yeah, 7.
There you go. So yeah, kind of like, and maybe it wasn't his fault because rookie quarterback. Trubisky was playing.
He missed a few games this year. Remember too from the concussion.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I'm going to give a 9 for that, but he's a talented player. If Canada can figure this stuff out, we should be sweet, honestly.
Oh, him with Darnell is like lights out. All right, what about the fan, the one that revs all fans up, Kendrick Green?
I have to give this bloke a 3, honestly. Yeah, man. I'm going to have to. I know you got a good theory about it, right? I know you got a good theory about it, but you've lost your job as a starter,
Should he have started in the first place?
Probably not, but you had that job to be starting, and now you're going all the way backwards. So maybe I shouldn't give him a 3.
But he was a third-round pick. Third-round picks don't make it all the time.
I'll give him a 4 then.
Cheapest.
He hasn't done much, really.
I give him a 5.
All right.
He started all those games the third-round draft pick as a rookie.
And didn't you say the other day that if he sits on the practice squad or hangs back a little bit, he might learn a few more skills and then get back at it as time goes on.
No. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I don't want to hate anyone on this list, but oh boy, I don't know, because now he's not starting at center anymore. He's not doing it, and he won't start at guard.
He
either.
never should have been starting at center in the first place.
So it's Mike Tomlin's fault. You say we should fire Mike Tomlin.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's the idiot that went to Adrian Clem, the guy that went to Oregon.
Oh yeah, he was here for like a short time, wasn't
he?
Yeah. Oh boy, that was bad.
Some people forget they basically fired a Patriot, like the O-line coach, before the season ended. They let him go to Oregon.
Yeah, and then, so where is he now? Back with the Patriots.
At the Patriots, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that wasn't very good. But now who we have now? Pat Myers really turned things around.
Yeah, Pat Myers is gone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good season with Ciamale and whatnot and Jones. I'm gonna give him a 4. I don't know. I just think we're not using him, right?
It's your ratings. You do what you
want.
What about Dan Moore Jr.?
Well, another fan favorite that's like everyone hates on him. I think he's done okay, but now he's probably going to lose his job, right, to Jones. So, although it's a pretty good backup when you think about it as an organizational thing. So, like
33 games.
I'm going to say probably like a 7 because of the depth.
That's what I gave him. That's exactly what I wrote down when you were talking. I think your 4th rounder, you're not meant to start. He was a left tackle. Ben likes him. He hasn't given up. He hasn't got his QBs absolutely killed. He's played well against guys like Myles Garrett. He could be a lot better, but he could be also a lot worse. He could be like, what Mark thinks of Kendrick Green. So, at the end of the day, yeah, I like the 7. All right, what about Buddy Johnson? Now, Buddy isn't with the Steelers anymore. Buddy went to, I think it was San Francisco. And the Cowboys. So we'll pull that up.
I thought it might have been Cowboys. Is he even playing?
He played. He was on the practice squad for them. Maybe it was the 49ers.
Okay.
Houston Texans and 49ers. There you go. Oh,
wow. Yeah. So I guess he's still on the Texans squad.
They've got anything there.
I don't know if we can even grade that because he's not on the team anymore.
Did he play one game or did he not? Yeah, he played in 4 games. I don't know. I'll give that a 2.
Are we grading guys that aren't on the team?
Well, I mean, he played for the Steelers, so he gets a grade. I'm kidding.
Well, we can't use him now, so I'm going to give him a 0. Harsh.
Nah. He played in 4 games. Come on.
Oh, I'll give him 1 then. You can't use him now. I'm also going off like what's going to happen in 2023.
All right, well, I'll give him a 1 as well. All right.
Good on you, buddy.
How about Isaiah Loudermilk?
And you know what's kind of interesting about this list? Green, Dan Moore, and Loudermilk, like they're not going to probably start this year, are they? Because Loudermilk also hasn't done.
Loudermilk could have been the bust that they traded back up in to get him, right?
So what are they giving him in round 5? What's he got? How many tackles he got? What, maybe 10?
I think not even. He's had
Well, they haven't played him that much anyway. He hasn't been in the rotation.
Some plays he looks like he's lost. Other plays you're like, if he was like a tad bit quicker, he would have got a sack. He's
got 1 sack.
He had the 1 sack. He's had 30 tackles in his career, 1 tackle for a loss, 3 pass defenses.
Depends how they're using this year for me, but I'd probably say
I'm gonna give him a 3.
3? I was gonna give him a 5. Geez, the tables have turned. I'm gonna give him a 5.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he's deserving of less than Kendrick Green for me because Kendrick Green at least started all these games.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right,
I'll stay with 5. 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Depends if they're going to use him this year or not. If they're going to use him in the rotation of the six down linemen. I don't know if they're going to do that or not.
I think he'll be on the practice squad.
Really?
What about Quincy Roche?
Oh, this one is. Oh man,
they got him
back.
He didn't pass waivers. Went to the Giants. Did a few things. Then went to the Giants practice squad last year. Back on the Steelers. What do you give him?
I might say this one's a hard one to judge because he didn't really play for us. But there's a reason why the Steelers brought him back. So maybe a A 6?
Yeah, I was giving him a
know.
6, but then he was on the practice squad for the Giants last year, so I'm going to give him a 5.
Why do you think the Steelers brought him back? Just
because he's got production. I don't think they ever wanted him to leave. I thought they were hoping he'd pass waivers, and he didn't. But I never thought he was going to pass waivers because people wanted him in the draft, and he slipped in the draft. Are you going 5 or 6?
6.
Okay.
6.
All right. What about Trey Norwood? Now this is hard because he had a good rookie year, and then last year he fell off the map.
I mean, this is hard. As the list goes on, it's harder it gets because I was pretty high on Trey Norwood when he came out. Was 7 years. I'm always rooting for the undrafted guys, around 7 guys, and then the first 2 games he played well. He made some good tackles and nothing. And then he got burnt. Like he absolutely got burnt on that 98-yard pass from Allen, which it's ridiculous. I'm not even sure he's going to make the team this year.
Yeah.
So if you're going to draft as an organizational thing, saying, well, is that a good player there at 7? Maybe a 2.
A 2?
I don't know. He's not needed anymore.
Yeah, I was giving a 3 or a 4.
Because he's going to play.
But he's a 7th round draft pick, remember?
Yeah, that's true. They got some production out of him because the first 2 games I was like, man, he's on fire. He's doing good tackles.
Yeah, and I remember the preseason game against the Panthers.
He was all over it.
He had these like 3 or 4 things in a row where it was like he almost intercepted him. Like he just was in the right spot.
He was tracking down the receiver like from the back of the safety set, reading down the quarterback's eyes.
Yeah, man, he was in there. He was in the middle. All over it. The other thing too, if he was playing well, they would never have brought in Kazi. So that's the other element to it.
And of course, you got Neil in there too as well. So I don't know where does he fit.
And also, I just gotta talk about Neil for a second. Steelers Nation out there. Kazi is not a strong safety. He's a free safety. Stop talking about that. I'm sick of seeing that.
No.
I saw it on a comment or a Twitter post the other day from someone like, no, they got an extra safety. They got the strong safety in Kazi. He's not a strong safety. Don't say that. Look at the guy. Look him up. I'm telling you, no way. Anyway, back to Norwood. I'm giving him a 4. Just because he was a 7th round draft pick and he's played a bit. Actually, how many games did he play?
I'm gonna go 2 because I think he might be cut.
No, don't do a predicting. Do it on.
I don't know, man.
He started 9 games. So it's 61 tackles, more than Loudermilk.
Has he really?
4 tackles for a loss.
Jeez.
4 pass defenses, 1 in INT.
All right, you talked about a point. I'll give him a 3.
He's a 7th round draft pick.
Yeah, but
one could argue he's actually had a higher production than Connor Haywood in his rookie year.
Are you saying you want to put Norwood at fullback? Is that what you're trying to say? So you can create these rumors. Like you created the one with Peyton Manning. It's easy to do, isn't it?
That's what he said, man. He talks about ruining a rookie quarterback by changing the offensive coordinator. All right, what about Presley Harvin?
This has all been tough, I tell you. I don't know. Can I be on the fence? A 5?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the fence. A 5.
I gave him a 3.
3? Why'd you give him a 3? Not a fan.
I know he was drafted in the 7th round. His stats actually aren't that good. He's one of the worst in the league. He's actually worse than Jordan Berry.
Wow.
I didn't see any development from him. I mean, his yards press pause and then they play. I don't understand. Pro Football Reference, figure it out. In the 20, he was down. Touchbacks, he was up fine. He had less in the 20, like net yards. Oh, he improved a little bit. I give him a 4. He's not a 5. I don't know. I'm glad they brought in Braden Mann. I don't think he's the punt of the Steelers.
Could be some competition.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, were you keeping score? Because my score's all over the shop. I can't even calculate that.
Yeah, so I do. I was keeping score. So I have 39.
I think it would be different here. I got a feeling it would be different.
I reckon we're going to be pretty close, actually. Let me just check my numbers. 18, 23, 30, 34, 39, 43, 47. Yeah, 47 out of 90 for me. So it's just over 50%. You're at 22, 29, 30, 41, 44, 49. You're higher on
Oh,
this
really?
draft class than
Wow.
me.
And it's still pretty low though, right? This draft class after
We're barely you're like 55% on this draft class. I'm like 52.5%.
And what are the other two? Are about 80, 90%.
Yeah.
So really they're only
out of 160, I'm on 98 and you're on 99 out of 160.
We're 1 point difference.
Yeah.
Wow. And their players have been so different as well.
Yeah.
So pretty much out of this draft class, like Naji's the guy, Frymuth's the guy, and the other blokes are going to be fighting for starting or backup with Kendrick Green and Dan Moore.
All right, that's a good point you bring up. So let's talk about this. 2 drafts, 5 starters, right? Connor Haywood, if you've got a fullback on the field, right?
Yep.
Or an H-back. Najee Harris, Kenny Pickett, Pat Frymuth, and George Pickens.
Pretty
5
good.
guys, 2
Pretty
drafts.
Should it
be 11 guys on the field? 11 guys on the field, right?
True. Should
and
be
Dan
Moore,
and if Dan Moore was to start, let's say, then you got Dan Moore. You got 6 guys in 2 drafts. Not bad.
Should it be more than that though? Like on defense?
Well, they probably should, because you're talking about 9 picks in 2021. But usually the quota is you have a really good draft if you get 3 guys, right? And the Steelers, you could argue, we haven't seen.
Well, they use Dan Moore too.
We haven't seen DeMarvin Leal develop. We haven't seen Mark Robinson develop. Like Presley Harvin's still technically the starter right now.
True.
So you could say they've got 8 or 9 guys across 2 drafts. It's not bad.
And they had Dan Moore starting for every single game.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably true. All right, we're going to do 2020.
No, we should call it pretty soon. But
I'm just kidding.
We'll say 2020 we can do a bit more of a deep dive because there's 3 years of stats there.
I can't believe we have the same score out of 3 drafts. That's all
pretty close. Score. We're pretty close. So
that's
I'm out of 210. I'm 156, and that makes you, because you got the same score as me with the other one, you're 157 out of 210.
Right. Steelers going Super Bowl. That's what you're saying to me. That's what you're saying.
So all you want me to say to you?
I just think it'd be one of the best if we did a 6-hour live stream for draft. Imagine a 5-hour drinking session for Super Bowl.
So you're on 75% rounded up to the nearest percentage.
That kind of makes sense looking at this stuff now with like Najee Harris and Frymuth. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I'll be about 73%. Let's just call it that. So
being a successful draft, more or less, or over the last few years. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Is there any undrafted guys from this year? I can't remember if there any undrafted guys from 2021.
Yeah, you had Cody White, and you had there's one more. You had, if that ad plays again, I'm going to throw my laptop across the room. That would be made for good content, wouldn't it? You had Christian Kuntz.
Oh, easy, mate. 10.
Jimmy Jones.
Oh, he's in a bit of trouble.
Delonte Scott, Cody White.
Yeah, Scott's playing for I think XFL team San Antonio Brahmas.
You got the Kuntz man, Christian Kuntz.
Yeah, that's a win right there, mate. You've got a long snapper starter, so that's 10 out of 10. Former linebacker as well. Got a few starters there. Where'd McFarlane? Wasn't he 21?
No, he's 2020.
Okay, so he's done nothing in 20. Oh, far out. He's done nothing that many years.
Actually, where is he? Yeah, 4th round, 2020.
Wow.
This is a year behind. They haven't put the 2023 draft class.
We're still waiting for him to do something to actually play.
It's a miracle, right? That's what I'm saying though with Kendrick Green. Like, you got a guy in the 3rd round that you got to start a full season in his rookie year when he probably should have redshirted. Like, let's be real. But you gave him the grade you gave him.
Well, I give him a 3.
But yeah, I mean, just to close that, just to close, tie a bow on it. How do you feel about that though? Like 75% across the 2 years.
I feel pretty hopeful about this draft 23. I really like 2022 with Kenny Pickett and Pickens. And then I think there's like two good players. So two great players in Frymouth and Najee. And if they use Dan Moore as backup, that's a win right there because then he's got to be good depth because he already played 20 games. Then if they use, who's the other bloke I said? Is it Green? No, not him. I've forgotten.
Latimer.
I forget.
Leal.
Yeah, Leal. Yeah, him back up too. You know what I mean? Is he in 21? So
no, 22.
I don't know. I'm kind of good. The moment you took the screen away, it was harder to talk about players. I feel like I'm seeing Ghost, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, the Sam Darnold.
Yeah, look at this. Look at my terrible writing, mate. I can't see what's going on.
Mine's not much better.
That's Matt Canada's playbook, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the snap counts.
No, I feel pretty good, man. If you're getting like guys like Dan Moore, who will probably back up in Jones' play, that's a win.
Well, you're about a 7. If we did points, you're a 7.5 out of 10 across the two drafts, and I'm a 7.3.
If they smash the draft next year, then we are in big contention, good contention for something.
Well, that's the other thing. All those guys we drafted this year, they could send the general stats way up for this team if they do well, like all contextually. Right?
Well, you got Darnell Washington, you got Herbig on the outside, you got some dudes there.
That's
so I reckon like Steelers fans need to be excited, man. Like this is the time that I don't know what to tell you.
But if you made it to the end of the show, we'd love to hear from you in the comments how you graded both years as well, right? So hopefully you played along with us, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments how you graded 2022, 2021. And then you can kind of compare it to our number. And then even if you're down on a player, hopefully they can prove you wrong. It's in all of our interests for a player to prove you wrong. But that is going to wrap up this week's episode of Mad Monday, grading the 2022 and 2021 draft classes. As always, Marky D.
Go Steelers. Here we go.